Hello everyone. Hope you're looking forward to a very Christmas themed, as you can see, very Christmas themed class today. Christmas Nutcracker. We've got a real Christmas special extravaganza for you today. So, before we begin, please just check that your space, you've got lots of space around you. You're not going to trip over any obstacles. The dog's out the way, the cat's out the way. You will also need something to use as a ballet bar. So something like a chair is absolutely ideal. Just something nice and sturdy. You can see I'm using a dining table chair there. And also just make sure the footwear that you're wearing isn't making it slippy for you. As you join in, it'd be lovely to hear whereabouts you're joining in from today. Please feel free to pop in the chat. Hello, I can already see some comments coming in. Pop in the chat whereabouts you're joining in from today. Is this your first ballet class that you're doing today? I'll just explain a little bit about Silver Swans. So Silver Swans is an initiative of the Royal Academy of Dance. The ballet class is specially designed for the over 55s, but whatever your age, if it's a nice gentle form of exercise, and many people of all ages enjoy Silver Swans because it is a great way to keep fit. It can help to improve your posture, your mobility, coordination, your energy levels, and of course, as it's online, like it is today, it means we don't have to leave the house and get really cold. No petrol or anything like that, no paying to park. We're here, we can all dance together and enjoy a Silver Swans ballet class. So, we're going to, like I said, today's got a bit of a Christmas theme in the session, as you can tell. But we're also going to be doing a little bit of repertoire from the Nutcracker to finish off, because for dancers, as soon as you say Christmas, our first thought goes to Nutcracker season. So we're going to enjoy learning a little bit from that. From the end of Act 1, it's the bit where Clara is whisked off to the land of the sweets. We're going to do a little bit of choreography based around that music. But we'll get started first of all with 2 warm-ups. Our first warm-up just gets us generally moving. You can just follow along nice and easily with that. And our second warm is specifically for your feet. So let's get started. So you can follow along nice and easy with this. Here we go. Make sure my camera's set up correctly. I'll tip it up just a little bit more. There we go. I think that should be about right. I've got my swan. The Silver Swans always makes an appearance at Christmas. Right, oh, it's a little bit dark. Oh, my light. Let me just switch on an extra light. It's always a bit difficult getting the lighting right at this time of year. A minute, let me just switch this on. Oh, if I can find the switch. There we go. That should make it a little bit brighter. You never know until you actually go live about how the lighting is going to be. That's much better. Right, we will get started now with our warm-up. So just following along. We're just going to walk around in our space. If you haven't got enough space to walk around, you can walk on the spot. Let's get started. Off we go, walking round. Okay, now we're going to take our arms slowly up and bring them down. And slowly up and down. And slowly up and down. Everybody into the middle. Feet together, we're going to put our hands in front and we'll just bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. We'll take both hands behind us and into the middle, both hands behind you. And into the middle now, sway to the side, bending and stretching. And bend and stretch. And bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. One more sway. Feet together. Breathing in. And breathing out. Okay. Great. Okay, so we've just got ourselves moving now. You're going to grab your ballet bar now. So just make sure it's nice and sturdy, that it's something nice and sturdy that won't wobble over you're going to use. We're going to do this next exercise facing our bar. So we do a lot of bar work as ballet dancers. It's really good. Basically think of a ballet class as being like one giant warm-up. And everything, it's very gentle as we start off, and then it gets progressively more and more difficult and a bit faster and faster, the movement. And then obviously we finish off with learning, if we're practicing our dance or solo that we're learning. And Silver Swans classes are no different. So we start off with our warm-ups, we do our bar work, we'll come into the centre, and then we'll finish off with some repertoire. So, facing your ballet bar. This is our second warm-up. We're going to get our feet moving. Definitely needed on a cold day. Like today. So feet together facing your ballet bar. Just check you're the correct distance away from your bar. If you're too close, your elbows are bent. If you're too far away, your elbows will be straight. We want them just to be nice and relaxed. If you've joined in my sessions before, you'll know this warm-up. We're going to go to our demi-point. So a nice crease in your shoe, to a point, demi-point and down. Same with the other leg. To a point, demi-point and down. Same again. To a point. So we're going through the different parts of your feet. Crease your shoes, take it to a point, demi-point, and down. Then we're going to point and flex. And pointing and closing. I've got my special sparkly ballet shoes on for today. Don't know whether you can see them twinkling there. And close. And pointing and flexing and pointing and closing and pointing and flexing and pointing and closing. Okay? So we're just really making sure that we are going through the different parts of our feet. I'm just going to switch on this light here, see if it makes. There we go, even brighter. There we go. Like I say, it's so difficult to get the lighting right at this time of day, especially, it seems to be going dark so early at the minute. So let's get started and we'll do our second warm-up for our feet. And demi-point, to a point, demi-point. And down, same again. To a point, demi-point, and down. Crease your shoe. To a point, demi-point, and down. Demi-point, to a point, demi-point, and down. Now pointing and flexing, and pointing and closing, and pointing and flexing, and pointing and closing. Same again. And flex, and pointing, and closing, pointing, and flexing, and pointing, and we'll finish. Okay, nice cheery tunes to get us started. So now we go on to our first proper exercise at the bar, which is our pliés. If you've joined in my sessions before, you'll know this now, that we always start off with our pliés, and that's the same for even going through to professional ballet dancers. We always start off with our pliés. It's a really useful, it's a nice gentle start to the class, and it just gets us moving through different positions of the feet, just getting on knees, gently bending and stretching. Plié, of course, means to bend. So that's what we're going to do with our knees. I'll just go through the positions of the feet because, of course, today's session is suitable for absolute beginners. So it doesn't matter if you've never done ballet before. We're going to go through everything right from the start today. So feet together. Our turnout comes from our hips in ballet. So keeping your heels together, you're going to turn your toes away from each other. So your feet are in what we call first position. It looks like a right angle. We don't want to be forcing our turnout. It should feel comfortable. We're not really like forcing it round. Okay, so if we were stood on a clock, it would be like 10 to 2, 5 to 1, nice and comfortable. Keeping that turnout in your feet, if you now put a little space between your feet, we now have our feet in second position. So we've got first position and we've got second position. Okay. Now, to go from one position to the next, we always point our foot to lower it down. Now, with this second position, we want to check that both of our feet are matching and our weight is in the middle, so we're not leaning on one leg more than the other. So check your feet look the same, check your weights in the middle. We'll come back to first again for a moment, and we're going to bring one foot in front of the other. So the heel of your front foot is touching the middle of your back foot. And we call that third position. And we can have third position with either foot in front. So if you want to have a quick practice of your third position, so heel of your front foot in contact with the middle of your back foot. So you've just learned 3 of the positions of ballet. So first position, second position, and third position. So we turn to face our barre now, feet in first, and we're going to start off with our demi-plie. So just check you set up correctly at your barre, like we discussed for the warm-up, that you're not too far away and not too close. And we're just going to bend our knees and stretch our knees. Now you'll find that when you take a demi-plie in first, we're making almost like a diamond shape with our legs. We're keeping our back straight all the time. We're not swinging our hips out behind us. Imagine you're balancing something on your head, bending and stretching and bending and stretching. Now we'll go to second position, just like we practiced before. Lowering down in second, same in second, bending and stretching and bending and stretching. And then we'll close into third position. So bring that foot in front, bending and stretching and bending and stretching. And then we'll close back to first position. So we've done plies in first, second and third. We've gone back to first. And we're going to move our arms now. So one hand, we're going to lift it up, circle it round and place it back onto your ballet barre. And then repeat the same with the other arm. So we call this movement a port de bras. Movement, carriage of the arms, it translates as. So don't worry too much about the way how we're moving our arms. We'll come to that later on in the lesson. We just want to make a big circle round and place it back onto the barre. So let's have a go now at our plies. Feet in first position. Okay, and demi-plie and stretch, plie and stretch. Now we'll go to second position, lowering down in second. Same in second, demi-plie 1 and stretch, demi-plie 2 and stretch. Now we'll close in front into third. So bring it in front, heel of your front foot in contact with the middle of your back foot, and plie and stretch, plie and stretch. Let's go back to first position. Stand it nice and tall, nice long necks, and one hand, lift it up, circle it round, and we put it back onto the bar very carefully, and the other hand lifting up, circle it round and place it onto the bar. Okay, so that is your plies exercise. Our next one is called our battement tendus. Sounds quite complicated, it's really straightforward. For this one, we're going to stand and hold onto the bar with one hand. So as you've got hold of the bar with one hand, like it was before, we want to check we've stood the correct distance away from our bar. We take that off our elbow, whether it's straight or bent. We want it to have that nice curve. And probably one of the most important things is making sure now that your hand is in front of you. So if you're using a chair like I am, if you just take a step backwards and then put your hand into the middle of the chair, that hand is now in front of you. That's us set up correctly now to help our balance. We don't want it to be at the side of us, and we definitely want it to go behind. In fact, you can see what it's done to my shoulders there. So we're keeping it in front, shoulders nice and relaxed. Your other hand is going to go onto your hips. And again, elbow going out to the side so it doesn't affect your posture. We have our outside leg now, which is your leg furthest away from your ballet bar. And we have our inside leg, which is your leg closest towards your bar. Now, it is always quite useful whenever you're doing these sessions, if you follow me along as a mirror image. I do teach it as a mirror image. So if you put your bar onto the same side of the video as I have it on, it makes it a lot easier to follow along with. Okay, so feet in first. So your leg furthest away from your ballet bar, we're going to slide it and point it in front and close it back into first position. That's a battement tendu. We've gone to the front, we're going to go to the side now. So we're pointing it to the side. Your leg stays really straight and closing. Now we're going to go to the back, again, keeping your leg really straight and closing into first position. Okay, so we're keeping our legs nice and straight all the time. We're really using our feet. It slides out, it lengthens away from us, but we're keeping our body really still. Be careful your hips don't twist. It's just your leg that's moving from your hip socket. And close. To the side. And close. We'll go to the back. And close. We'll take a demi-plie. And stretch. Now we'll reverse. So we'll go to the back. And into first. To the side. And into first. To the front. And into first. Demi-plie. And stretch. So to give it its full titles, you've just learned a battement tendu devant, that's the one going to the front, battement tendu à la seconde, which is going to the side, and battement tendu derrière, which is going to the back. When it goes in front of us, it stays in front of your hip and shoulder. When it goes to the back, it's behind your hip and your shoulder as well. When it goes to the side, we think our big toes are opposite each other. Just using those little markers can help just get that placement there. Okay, so let's have a go with music. Feet in first for our battement tendus. And we go to the front and into first, to the side and into first, derrière to the back and into first, demi-plie and stretching. Now we'll go to the back and close to the side and close to the front. I'm closing in demi-plie and stretching. Okay, good. So we've used one leg. We now need to use the other leg. So if you want to swap your chair over, if you're on a fixed unit, like a kitchen work surface, then you can turn your laptop round and we can now do the exercise with the other leg. Because of course we want to keep our muscles nicely balanced. So we want to work both sides exactly the same. So now your outside leg has changed. So now it's this one we're going to be using as we point it to the front and into first, to the side and into first, to the back and into first. You know the exercise. Let's go with music. And going to the front and into first, to the side and into first, to the back and into first, demi-plie and stretch. Now we'll reverse. Let's go to the back and closing into first position, to the side and into first, to the front, to the back and close and demi-plie and stretch. Okay, good. We swap our balls back to whereabouts we were before for our pliés, because for this next exercise, we're going to be facing our bar again, just like we did for our pliés. This is an exercise called a battement frappé. Frappé meaning to strike. You're probably thinking of a drink right now. You'd be absolutely right too. It's spelled exactly the same. It's got the same meaning to strike, but it means something very different in ballet. But if somebody says, about having a frappe drink, it's like this little in joke for ballet dancers that we have a step that's called a frappe. Right, so feet in third. On the introduction, we're going to lift up so that your heel touches your ankle bone, so your foot is completely flat. Okay, so we'll do this facing the bar. I'm just turning to face you so you can see nice and clearly. So my heel is touching my ankle bone, my foot is flat. I'm going to point my foot out to the side, to whereabouts we went for our battement tendu. So it's actually going onto the floor. Bring it back in again. To the side and in. Now, next time you do this, try and close your foot in at the back. So it's going to the back, side, close it at the front, side, close it at the back. Have a go with the other leg as well. And point and in. Oh, my foot's disappearing off there. I'll come further forward. Out and in. Point and in. So it's stretching and flexing. Whereas the other two exercises have been quite soft, lyrical exercises, we have quite a few of those today. Frappe means to strike. It's a very strong action. It's all dancers use it for getting the speed and the accuracy of their feet. So it's going from a flex, then we're quickly going out to a point. Flexing, quickly going out to a point, and it's getting those complete opposites going. Okay, because a completely flexed and bent leg going to a fully stretched and pointed foot. So feet in third. Let's have a go for our frappes now. So lifting up your front foot on the introduction. We're going to take 3 Batman frappes using your foot. 1, and in, and 2, and in, and 3, and in. Now, if you just lower it down at the back, you'll find yourself in third position, and you can lift up your front foot. 1, and in, and now we're using the other leg. And in, and 2, and in. Slide it down and lift it up, and we'll go again. And in, and out, and in, and out, and in. Put it down. You'll find you're traveling further backwards with this one. So if you want to start a little bit closer towards your bar, that will be absolutely fine for this exercise. Just start a little bit closer. And if you do find that you are getting too far back and you, like this, tries to do your frappes, just reshuffle back in towards your bar. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's more important that you're keeping your posture and your balance nice and secure. So let's have a go now at our Batman frappes. Feet in third. Okay, let's go. And lifting up your foot, we'll go to the side, and in, to the side, and in, to the side, and in, slide it down, lifting up your other foot, and point, and in, and point, and in, and point, and in, put it down and lifting up, and point, and in, point, and in. Third one, let's have a go one more time, and 1, to a point, to your ankle, to a point, to your ankle, lowering down. Quite good for getting your coordination going, isn't that one, frappe? We're going to finish off our bar work now with an exercise called a Grand Batman. We always finish off our bar work with a Grand Batman. If you've done my sessions before in the virtual village hall, you'll already know this exercise. So a Grand Batman, it's an extension almost of our Batman Tondu that we learned earlier, where we went to a point and close, okay? So if you point your foot in front again, we're going to lift it up into the air, point it and closing it. All the time we're keeping our legs straight. Pointing, lifting, pointing and closing. We're now going to connect together those first 2 points and it's going to go swish, point, close. So the point close stays the same as we close it, but the opening changes. Swish, point, close. Swish and a point and a close. And that is a Grand Batman, a big beat, basically it translates as. Imagine your foot is going along a runway, you know, like an aeroplane runway, before it takes off. And that means that you're fully using the floor before it goes. It doesn't appear in the air, it swishes. So you can make a good swishy sound on your floor, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so feet in first. Now for this one, we are going to use our outside leg and our inside leg in the same exercise, on the same side, just so we can get into the center a little bit faster. So setting yourself up correctly at your bar, remember that hands in front of you, thinking about your posture. That's a big thing in Silver Swans. We spend a lot of time talking about our Silver Swans. I teach quite a lot of, I do teach a lot of Silver Swans classes online on Zoom, and we spend so much time really making sure we've got good posture, because it helps not only for your ballet, but also it translates into normal everyday life, that improvement in your posture. So feet in first. Feel as though your head is like a helium balloon that's floating upwards, but your feet are the weight. And we've got this two-way stretch. We're lifting up, but we're still keeping quite grounded. Relaxing your shoulders. People hold a lot of tension in their shoulders, really relaxing them down. Okay, so we're going to take 3 Grand Batmans using our outside leg. Swish and a point and a close. Swish, point and a close and wait and a swish and point and close. We're going to take a little rise. Rises are very good for strengthening your ankles. And down. Same with the other leg. Swish and a point and close and wait and a swish and point and close and wait. Swish and point and close. Rising and lowering. So a little rise at the end. We want to make sure, and in the middle, we want to make sure that our ankles are staying in a nice straight line. We're not rolling onto our little toes. It's staying nice and straight in the center. You can take it as a little lift of your heel. That's absolutely fine. That's a very strengthening position. We call that our quarter point if you do a little lift. If you're going all the way up to the full range of your ankle, we call that our demi point. Just take a lot more strength and control that. So if you want to, you can gradually build up as time goes on from your quarter point going all the way up to your demi point. Of course, we're not going all the way up to the tips of our toes because you need to have special point shoes on for that. So we're just a nice rise, creasing your shoes and lowering down. Feet in first. Let's do our grown back mons. Off we go, and the swish, and a point, and close. Second one. Third one back mon, point, close, rising up, and lowering down. Other leg, and the switch, point, close. So we're keeping our legs really straight. Are you still thinking about your posture? Lifting up nice and tall. Third one. Rising up and lowering down. Okay, good. Put your ballet bars away, have a quick drink of water, and we'll come into the centre. Let me mind this out of the way. Actually, I'll lift this over here so it's completely out of the way. Okay, have a quick drink now. Hello to everybody who's popped messages in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me today for your Christmassy session. I hope it's making you feel nice and Christmassy, dancing to all this lovely music. Christmas music works so well for doing ballet exercises too. I just wish we could use it throughout the year. It just fits perfectly. So for our next exercise, we're going to start in the centre, and this is called a port de bras. Port de bras, I did use that word when we were at the bar after our pliés, and we did this movement with our arm and the other arm. Yeah, when we were holding on to the bar. Port de bras, carriage of the arm. So it can be any arm movement. It's not just those ones that we did at the bar. Anything that we use our arms for is a port de bras. But we also do have a specific exercise for a port de bras, and this is the moment for us to work on our arm positions. So feet in first position, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to learn a few arm positions that we're going to come across in our repertoire that we're going to go on to afterwards. I'm learning that little sequence to the Nutcracker music. So feet in first, and we're going to begin with our hands in bras bar. Now bras bar, I'm going to come a bit closer so you can see. Bras bar is it's an oval shape with your hands, basically. You can see my elbows are pointing out to the side because we don't want to have it disappear. Elbows out to the side and palms facing upwards. Our hands are about as wide apart as our face. Don't want to have them touching, don't want to have them too far apart. You always see if you ask anybody, be a ballet dancer, you always get the fingers touching. That's actually completely wrong for ballet. We have the rule that your hands are as wide apart as your face, because then it means that your shoulders can stay nice and relaxed. If they touch, then you can feel it contracting on your chest. So we put that little space there, and it means that you can keep it nice and open across your chest. Okay, so if you keep your arms the same shape and lift them up so they're opposite your waist, and that is arms in first position. So it's exactly the same shape, it just lifts up. Keep your arms going up, and that is fifth position. So fifth, your hands are just in front of you. They're opposite about your hairline. Okay, shoulders down. That's why we keep our arms in front of us. It's quite difficult to control your shoulders if your hands are straight up above your head. So bras bar, first, and fifth. We skipped ahead a few positions there to learn those. But the reason why I teach them in that order is because they're all exactly the same shape. Now, you put your arms straight out to the side. I'll move into the middle there. Palm of your hand facing forwards, and you're going to curve it slightly further forwards. So that would be in a straight line, and that's it curved slightly forwards. That's second position. So barre, first position, second position, and fifth position we know as well. Now we just need to learn just a few more little extra positions ready for later on in the session and for our port de bras. If you take your arms in first and then open one arm out to second, that's your third position. And we can have third with either arm in front. Okay, barre, first, second, third, and fifth. We don't need to know fourth for today. But what I am going to teach you is just a few little extra ones. Demi-second. Demi-second is like your hands are resting on the edge of your tutu. Imagine your tutu comes out from your hips, and then your hands are resting again. They're just in front of you, not behind, because that's going to affect your posture and your balance. Just in front. So that's your demi-second. And for our port de bras, we're also going to learn our arabesque arm lines. Arabesque, one hand is straight in front of you. Nice soft elbow, about the height of the bridge of your nose. And the other arm is going to go straight out to the side. So you've got, it's like the two sides of a square. And that's your arabesque. And we can have our arabesque with either arm in front. And it's like we're reaching out for something. Someone's holding a nice chocolate cake in front of you or something. And you're reaching out for it. Okay, that's your arabesque. So those are all the arm positions we're going to use from now until the end of today's session. So feet in first. Let's put a few of them together into a little sequence just for our arms. We're going to take one hand out to demi-second and back into barre. We're going to take the other hand out to demi-second and back into barre. Arms to first, all the way up to fifth, opening out to second, and down to barre. So that's the first half of the exercise. So sorry, I've got something scratching me on my eye. It's gone. Right. I just feel it all the time. Right, one hand and in. The other hand is nice and slow. It's to somewhere in my memory from Home Alone, this music. So when you think, I know this tune from somewhere, you will recognise it. Opening out. And of course played as a nice ballet version for a ballet class. From here, we're going to reach our arms out into arabesque. Don't worry about which arm you bring in front. We're just reaching out and lowering it down. Reaching out and lowering it back down. And then to finish off, we'll take another full port de bras, reaching out all the way, hands lower down to barre. Okay, so we've got our little movements with our arms, a full port de bras, we call that. We show our arabesque arm lines. Don't worry about which arm you have in front. We just want to show our arabesque lines with both arms. And then to finish, another port de bras, like we're throwing petals into the air on a full port de bras. Let's have a go with music now. It's nice and slow and steady. So hands in barre. And one hand out. And bring it in. And the other hand out. And in. Arms to first. Up to fifth. Shoulders down. Keeping your arms slightly in front. Opening out. And lowering down. Okay, now it's time for your arabesque. So one arm to the front, one arm to the side. Reaching out and closing. And the other hand reaching out and lowering. And another full port de bras. Arms to first and up to fifth. Opening out and open. And lowering down. Hands to bras. Okay, good. So going on to our repertoire now, we have our little dance to the Nutcracker. Like I said, as soon as you say Nutcracker, ballet dancers just absolutely love it because it's just it's the most gorgeous music, gorgeous costumes. I mean, it does come around every Christmas, so we do find that, you know, think Christmas, you know, your mind automatically goes to Nutcracker. But it is a beautiful, beautiful music by Tchaikovsky, and every ballet company just treats it just ever slightly different and really makes sure you know, puts their own little stamp on it. So I'm just going to play you a little bit of the music that we're going to be dancing to today, and then I'll explain whereabouts this music comes. So absolutely gorgeous Tchaikovsky music. This music comes at the end of Act 1 of the Nutcracker. Okay. Very dreamlike, because that's what's happening at this moment. Every ballet company, like I said, does a slightly different version. I'll explain that in the Royal Ballet's version. This is the moment, there's just been the battle with the Rat King, and Clara thinks that the Nutcracker / Prince has been killed. She's crying, and then all of a sudden he wakes up and he's actually a prince, rather than just being a nutcracker, and they do the beautiful pas de deux to it before they travel off through the snow, which is of course when you get the famous snowflakes. End of Act 1, into Act 2, we have our famous land of the sweets, which is where she's traveling to. So every ballet company treats it slightly different. For example, New York City Ballet, this is the moment where she's gone to bed, and the bed is the most amazing technology they use, and they like travel like on like remote control almost the bed around the stage, and she's just asleep on it. And then of course exactly the same as Royals, though, in the way that the Nutcracker obviously then turns into the prince and they travel off. It's sometimes called Journey Through Snow, this piece of music, because it just leads exactly into the dun 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 of it going into the snowflakes music when the first snowflake comes out. So this is just a little bit before that anyway. So we're going to begin in our upper corner, our upstage left corner. So what I mean by that is you use your right hand, left hand. So we're going over to our left side, and I want you to move away from your screen a little bit so you've got more space to dance in. So we're now in our upstage, in the upper corner of the stage on the left side. We're going to do a big circle with one hand all the way out. I want you to imagine that it's beautiful snow falling, because like I say, it's called Journey Through the Snow, this piece of music. Same with the other hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Everything in this music is counted in sixes. But don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you can always follow along with the video. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other hand, 2, 3. So we're actually passing through 5th position there. 4, 5, 6. We're going to reach our arms out to our arabesque position, just like we did in the port de bras. And I want you to feel as though that front hand is pulling you down to the corner, feet in first. We'll repeat it on the other side. 1 hand, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reaching out to your arabesque. It pulls us off to the corner, but it's not. But we're going to start to go to the corner, but we're going to finish in the middle. So we're going to go round. Feel like a little snowflake floating round, feet in first position in the middle at the back. So we made like a bit of a zigzag shape. Don't get too worried with the directions. Obviously, we're here to enjoy our dancing. I don't want you to feel as though you're getting caught up on, am I going to the right, am I going to the left? Just enjoy it, just dance it safely in the space that you're in. If you need to adapt anything, if you're in a much smaller space or a much bigger space, of course, you can adapt it to fit into your room that you're dancing in. So let's have a go with music up to there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And reaching out, imagine you're in the forest. And we'll travel to the corner. Feet in first. Let's go on the other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reaching out. And we want to go to the middle at the back. Feet in first position. Okay. And it changes quite a bit now, this next section. We're going to like a middle section now. So like I said, just before we started, imagine that you know, that you're in a forest. New York City Ballet have got the most beautiful scenery at this moment. It's meant to be like all huge Christmas trees, all the fir trees, all the way around the stage. And of course, like I said, then it starts gently snowing as well. So you can imagine it's snowing on stage as you're dancing this. So not too hard to imagine at the minute with the weather, is it? So feet in first. From here, now this is very much storytelling at this moment. So we're not getting too worried about the steps. We're more telling a story. You can imagine at this moment, you can imagine you're Clara, or you can imagine that you're the Nutcracker Prince. It's completely up to you, because it is a pas de deux. We get both of the characters on stage at this moment. So we're going to bring our arm to first, and I'll just come closer then you can see. Bring my arm to first, and we're going to push out to set towards where our second position was, and then the other hand we're pushing out. Imagine you're having a look behind the Christmas trees at this moment. You're not quite sure, because of course we're traveling to the land of sweets at this moment. So we're looking, push it out, and the other hand, push it out. Okay, if you want to, you can leave it just as that. If not, take it as a little sway, and the other hand, and sway. From here, we are going to go into 2 quicker sways, sway and sway, and from there my arms have changed to third position. Third to third. I'm going to lift my arms up and down, and we'll take some steps forwards. We don't know where we're going. We're looking through these trees again. And we repeat it again. We can sway, look through the trees. You're looking at the snow. And sway. And sway. Lifting your arms up, look at all the snow that's coming down. And at this moment, we're going to walk around back to where we began. So we're floating around. Have a look, because you've completely lost. You don't know it's this magical land that you're going to. So we're walking around. Lots of acting Clara and Nutcracker Prince have to do at this moment in the ballet. And we'll finish whereabouts we started there. So just that middle section. So we've done our zigzag. We've come into the middle. And this is where we do our best acting. We're looking. We're looking. And then we do 2 quicker sways. Sway. And sway. Lifting your arms up. And down, and we'll walk forwards. We're not quite sure where we're going. And then we repeat it again. And we go around back to where we began. So let's have a go from the very beginning up to that middle section. We've only got a few more counts left to add on to this bit, actually. And then we finish the dance. And 1 hand. And down. The other hand. 1 and down. Out to your arabesque. You can just enjoy dancing to this beautiful music. And we go to the corner. And 1 hand, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other hand. And reaching out to your arabesque, let that hand lead you. And we come round into the middle. Feet in first. Okay, let's have a look behind the trees. Sway. And sway to the other side. And we'll go sway. sway. Looking at the snow as it falls. Let's walk forwards. And we'll get ready to go again. We're going to look behind the trees. And the other way, looking behind the trees. Can you see the Nutcracker Prince? And we'll sway quicker. And quicker. Looking at the snow as it falls. And we're going to go round to the beginning. And at this moment here, we just repeat from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We take our arms out to our arabesque. We go to the corner, and what we'll do is pointing your foot in front, and we're going to lift our arms up to a diagonal line, because that is the position that the entrance of the snowflake first of all comes on, and she takes her arms out to here, and then she flutters off. Okay, so we're nicely, that isn't the full piece of music because it is a very long piece of music, this pas de deux, but we're just connecting it into whereabouts the story of the snowflakes would come on. So we're going to, at that moment, give a little hint of the dance that is to come. Okay, so let's have a go from the very beginning. The opening and the ending sections are near identical, and we've got that beautiful storytelling section in the middle. I really hope you enjoyed learning this little section from the Nutcracker. Stunning piece of music. If you haven't seen the Nutcracker before, I do recommend it. Is a great first ballet to go and watch, especially if you've never seen a ballet before. I do recommend a great version to get on DVD is what is the best by San Francisco Ballet Company. I think that is the best snow scene ever. They use the most amount of snow that has ever been used by any ballet company ever. How on earth the dancers even see? It's like a blizzard on the stage. It makes you feel absolutely icy when you're watching it. It's the most magical snow scene I've ever seen of any ballet company. So I do recommend having a look at checking out San Francisco Ballet's version of the snowflakes. So let's go from the very beginning and just enjoy dancing through this beautiful magical world as we're transported from Christmas Eve in our house off to the land of the sweets. Let's give it a go. And one hand, and the other hand, and reaching out to your arabesque, and we'll float to the corner, feet in front, and one hand, big circle, looking at the snowflakes as they fall all around you. The other hand, reaching out to your arabesque, reaching out that hand to lead you. We'll go to the middle of the back, ready for our middle section where we're telling the story of where we're travelling through the forest, through all the fir trees. And sway to the side, looking out. And sway to the side, looking out. And we'll do 2 sways. And sway, lifting up, look at the snowflakes as they fall. And travelling forwards, looking whereabouts you're going. And sway to the side. And sway to the other side. 2 quicker sways. Each really moving now. And looking at the snowflakes. Okay, we're ready. Travelling round up to where we started. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Other hand. And reaching out. And we'll go to the corner. Pointing your foot in front. And into snowflakes. Okay, good. We'll just finish off with our cool down now. So in the middle of the cool down, we'll put in our curtsies and bows. If we've got any gentlemen joining us today, you can take a bow. And ladies, you can take a curtsy. So popping your foot at the back on the ball of your foot. If you find that position slightly unsteady, you can always do the same, but with your feet in third. In the meantime, just follow along with our cool down. So feet together. And breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Into your curtsies and bows. And curtsies and bows. Okay, let's just go for a walk around the room like we did at the beginning. So just focusing on your breathing. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Well done, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye, everyone.